Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of startAD Studio, where we have today KamKalima's founders, Sirun and Nisreen. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Sabira.
Guys, how are you doing today?
Good.
Big
It's still
sun?
9 in the morning.
Was it
I
a
was
cup
trying
of coffee?
to show you that I'm still having my coffee.
Yeah, I'm due for a coffee right now, but it's really amazing to have you guys on. And I'd love to ask you what KamKalima is and what you guys do.
Thank you, startAD and Sabira, for having us. So, KamKalima is an e-learning environment that supports the Arabic department in the school level from grade 4 to 12. So we support both teachers, the students, and the head of the Arabic department.
Great. And how have you and Nisreen met?
Nisreen and I have been colleagues in two different schools since 1999, probably. So we met while we were both teachers in one school, then we moved to another school, and then we separated paths, then co-founded KamKalima.
So when did you separate paths and when did you find KamKalima?
Okay, so I'm going to jump in.
Yes.
Sirun and I taught together for many years, and we've both been in the education space for over 20 years individually. We overlapped in the school context. We were both in the classroom doing different things with students of different age levels. And then Sirun focused on supporting schools with technology integration into education. And I was working in research policy and development in education, always with young people. And then we converged again and started KamKalima.
So you two had very big powers and you had come together and created this beauty called KamKalima, right?
Very big powers and a lot of shared values, both on the individual level and in terms of what we see education is and what we would like it to be.
That's great. So when did you both realize that KamKalima is the answer and your path is destined to be an entrepreneur? Was there perhaps maybe an aha moment?
I mean, at least from my perspective, entrepreneurship was more a response to a need rather than an end in itself, as in I'm an aspiring entrepreneur, not necessarily. But when you work in a field long enough and you become aware of the gaps and the challenges, and you have the knowledge and the skill and the power to do something through entrepreneurship, it becomes difficult not to. Although it's not an easy journey.
That's a beautiful, beautiful answer. What about you, Sirun? Do you agree?
So, yeah, I mean, of course, exactly same answer, but I have a shorter version of it. We are accidental entrepreneurs.
Aren't we all really? But yeah, that's
so basically,
like the term, accidental.
Like Nisreen said, we didn't say, oh, we want to become entrepreneurs. We actually found out what entrepreneur means while we were being entrepreneurial. So it was more like we have the means to solve this problem and fill this gap. So let's do it. And then, oh, it's called entrepreneurship. Okay.
Okay, so on the journey of accidental entrepreneurship, what is the biggest mistake that you're glad you made? Oh, okay. See, we're seeing Koi smile. So of course you know the answer.
I was saying, the problem is with the word biggest, as in we've made many mistakes, but we're like having trouble deciding which one is the biggest mistake. No, that's a joke.
Tell me.
Well, I mean, Sirun has been, she's been an entrepreneur longer than me, although we are, we co-founded KamKalima together, but we made a choice that as we work together to grow it, we needed to take different roles at different times, and she was involved full-time the first few years, more than me. That's why I'm leaving it to her to like
so I think the biggest mistake I made, but I'm glad I made it, is quitting my job directly when we started talking about this. So for 2.5 years, I had no income until we raised our first round. Why am I glad I made it? At that time, it was very difficult. I was like, why did I just quit? I could have continued while doing this. I'm glad because that pressure And that extra time on my hand after 23 years of teaching gave me the time, and two, the drive, because of all that pressure, the drive to jump into learning about entrepreneurship and the journey and running a startup and raising capital and all the other things that you do as an entrepreneur. So yeah, that's the mistake, but I'm glad I made it.
Okay, so of course the journey of accidental entrepreneurship, as Zirun likes to call it, has it's a learning curve, right? So what advice would you give to other aspiring social entrepreneurs like yourself?
For me, I've been asked this question before, and I kind of say the same thing, even though it might be boring. It's not to have a regret when you think you made a wrong decision, because this whole concept of a wrong decision, I removed it from my dictionary, because I rather see it like this was not a wrong decision. This is a decision I took at the specific point in time in this journey that I felt was the right decision to make, given the data and the information and the circumstances I had.
Which is kind of, if you think about it, it's like the same notions of entrepreneurship, but applied on a personal level. So the need to be agile, the need to iterate. You know, what is iteration? Iteration is making mistakes, becoming aware of them, and then adjusting accordingly. So it's really the same on a personal level. You know, don't wait for perfection. Go with what you feel is right. Be informed by data, do your best, and then learn from whatever is happening. You either continue or you adjust, or it's just a much more constructive way than looking at it from a lens of mistakes and regrets.
Yeah, I think one of the first and earliest lessons of entrepreneurships is that you will fail many, many times, but reiterating your solution is key. So you guys, I think,
and it would be problematic if you don't fail.
Yeah, no, I think so. I agree with you. Yeah, it's a failures are part of the journey, and we take a lot from it, right? So now, what's next for KamKalima? Where are you guys now, and what's your plan for the year?
We're at a point where we can do more of what we want to do. So as you know, KamKalima it's an e-learning environment that targets Arabic literacy, but it does that by working with the students and with teachers, building confidence for Arabic, building motivation, etc. And for the first few years, we've really focused on literacy in and of itself, of course, embedding really key themes that that young people need to be reading about, talking about, learning about, etc. That's aligned with what they learn at school. What we're very excited about next year is that we're going to be offering something that has not yet been offered in Arabic. And this is bringing another very important element of children's development, which is social and emotional learning, and using a literacy embedded approach to be able to offer schools, offer young people this content and this support to develop more as individuals, as learners, as thinkers in Arabic through a literacy embedded approach using KamKalima. So this is something we've been passionate about for a long time, and we are very excited to be bringing it forward next year.
I'm really excited to see it too.
I want to add something that we have been in a partnership with Al Futtaim Education Foundation based in Dubai for more than a year now. And together we are currently co-building a game app targeting kids between the age of 3 and 6 to help them learn how to read Arabic based on the research done by Dr. Farah, who is the linguist heading Al Futtaim Education Foundation. So basically, it's a game that teaches the kids to read Arabic, but at the same time, it enforces environmental values into the kids. So the game is focused on taking care of our habitat, animals, environment, etc., and the harm that the humans cause it, while at the same time learning how to read Arabic. So we're super excited to be hopefully launching that early next year.
I'm really, really excited to see that too. Thank you so much, Nisreen and Saroon, for giving us your time here in startAD Studio. And I really hope you had a great time just like I did.
Yeah, it was
Thank
a
you,
nice
Sabira.
conversation. Thank you, Sabira.